Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maximo and I'm just here taking a look at The Walking Dead Season 2. This commentary is actually going to be post-commentary, so if it doesn't look like what I'm saying matches up with what's on screen, that's why. I just find it a little bit easier to do post-commentary than normal commentary on this one because, well, there's a lot I have to say and being able to display it all in a game that's mainly story-based is going to be kind of hard. So I might as well get right on this. This video will probably contain spoilers for The Walking Dead Season 1 in the background. I mean, like, there'll probably be one right after the intro, so, you know, be very careful of that. Anyway, let's get started. So, first off, it looks much better. It really does. It looks much better for some reason. Everything looks a bit smoother. I think they've applied a couple more effects over the top that make it look slightly better than it did in the last game. Yeah, something like that. I'm not really sure. The thing is, we tried that in for a lower frame rate. The frame rate tends to drop a lot during heavy action sequences. I'm not really sure what causes that. There's this one scene in episode 2. There's this one scene on a bridge, and one of the characters, something happens to one of the characters, and the frame rate literally drops to sub 5 FPS for like 3 seconds. It's a ridiculous drop. I have no idea what caused it. Thankfully, they actually fixed the micro stutter. For those of you who didn't play The Walking Dead Season 1 on Vita, the micro stutter is when the game would merely stop in between loading scenes, and it would even do this even before action sequences. And they got rid of this micro stutter for The Walking Dead Season 2. I'm not sure how they did it, but they almost completely got rid of it. The only time I see micro stutter is in between some scenes, and it never happens before an action scene, thankfully. Unfortunately, this leads to another problem. It has load times that are really long. If you fail an event, it can take anywhere up to 15 to even something like 30 seconds at some points to get back to where you were in the story. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm confused. I don't know why it happens. Maybe they just can't keep the whole thing in memory for too long? I don't know. I don't know why it takes so long to reload after a... Anyway, moving along. Sound is a bit weird. I don't know what's up with the sound in this game, because it's just... I've tried listening to it through headphones, and when I did, it sounded like it had some weird corruption going on. Like, you know how you bump a 3.5mm jack nearly out of the port and you hear that little static crackling sound coming through? I tried multiple headphones, multiple games, and only The Walking Dead seemed to do it. It's a bit odd. The sound design in the game just seems to be a little bit off or broken. I'm not sure what's on about it. Thankfully, it sounds much better if you're just listening through the speakers, because that corruption barely comes through. I'm not really sure what the deal is there. Okay, but the sound, other than that, is still pretty good. I have no other complaints about it. The save transferring from The Walking Dead Season 1 works alright, but you do need a copy of The Walking Dead Season 1. I hope to God that it... I really hope to God that I don't need to have to import my save again in order to just keep my decisions going. That would be kind of stupid. Anyway, the controls. The controls themselves are actually fine for the most part. I mean, the controls are okay. The thing is, they've actually changed it now so that you can use both touch and button controls at the same time instead of having to swap between the two. That's kind of annoying. I don't know why they did it in the first game. Thankfully, they changed it so that you don't have to do it in the second game. Most of the action sequences are controlled using a combination of either the joystick and buttons or the touchscreen. And strangely enough, one or two of the action sequences I actually had real trouble getting to accept my joystick inputs. So it's a bit off, but you know, you can just swap to the other control scheme if you need to, and I did, and I got past the events fine, but it did take a few 20-second loading times, and that kind of annoyed me. So just keep that in mind. The joysticks are kind of inaccurate, but everything else seems to work fine. There's no real updates or tweaks made, but it all seems to work just as well as it needs to. I don't see any issues for the most part. And of course, we have to talk about the story. Of course, it's just as good as The Walking Dead Season 1. So if you hated The Walking Dead Season 1, there's going to be nothing here to convince you to continue. If you liked The Walking Dead Season 1 and want to see more, well, come right ahead. But, God, I have to warn you about something. Without using any spoilers, there are two scenes that are extremely hard to watch in The Walking Dead Season 2 Episode 1. extremely hard. I don't know if there's going to be any in episodes 3, 4, or 5, because obviously this isn't a freaking future-telling show here. So, if you are squeamish, I would suggest avoiding episode 1 altogether, because holy god, some of those scenes are just brutal! But otherwise, it's just as good as it used to be. So, overall, this is going to be a really short video, I apologize for that. But overall, this was actually a fairly good port. I mean, it's doing much better than The Walking Dead Season 1 does. The removal of the micro stutter, even in exchange for the lower frame rate, it's an overall improvement. The controls seem a little better. I don't know what's up with the sound, but you can't even tell if you're using the speakers. I was just using a good pair of headphones and I could hear it. And it's just a bit odd, that's all. If they fix up the loading times in a patch, it'll be a much better port than The Walking Dead Season 1 was. But for now, it works. If you had any issues with that micro stutter playing The Walking Dead Season 1, you can rest assured that it is mostly gone here. There might be micro stutter in between loading scenes, but other than that, it's fine. It never comes in during an action sequence. Whether that's clever design or just luck, I don't know, but yeah. The port itself is fine, and if you wanted to play The Walking Dead Season 2 on the go, it would be hard not to recommend it. It just does have a few problems that would be nice to get fixed. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.